So I just saw The Rise of Skywalker, and it was not very good. This is going to be a spoiler review because I feel like at this point, anyone who's wanted to watch this movie has watched it, and everything's so plot specific that it kind of feels necessary either way. For me personally, I haven't really cared all that much about these latest Disney Star Wars movies. I think they're all just fine. I know a lot of people love them, and definitely tons of people hate them, but for me, I just think they're all pretty okay. They have aspects to them that I like, but most of them I don't feel much for. And that is definitely on display with The Rise of Skywalker, because I left that theater kind of just feeling nothing, to be honest. I'll get the positives out of the way, because I feel like there's just less of them. The best part of this trilogy has definitely been Rey and Kylo Ren and their development, as well as the development of their relationship. And that's still the case here. They didn't completely ruin that, which is good. The movie also looks great, but I mean, it's, $250 million movie. It probably should look good. The rest of the main cast is also good, or at the very least serviceable. It was fun to have all the new characters together and on an adventure, and this movie does have a sense of adventure to it, which is another fun aspect. Also, maybe they overdid it a bit, but we'll get there. I liked the lightsaber fights in this a lot. I don't know if I liked it quite as much as that Praetorian Guard scene in Last Jedi, but there's more of them, and they're shot in interesting ways, so I thought that was a good addition. I liked that little alien guy. What was his name? Baby Freak? No. Babu Frick. He was cool, I guess. I think that's it, though. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so right from the beginning, they come out and tell you that Palpatine is back from the dead, which is stupid. And then they don't even bother explaining how that really happens. They just show a bunch of Snokes in a jar, like he's growing them or something. I don't know. It's unclear, but that's kind of all you're really given as far as how this happened. And it makes you just question. I mean, at the end of Return of the Jedi, he gets thrown down the shaft, and it looks like he's vaporized. And then the whole fucking thing blows up 5 minutes later. So, I mean, whatever. So his essence goes out of his body and he's able to go into a conduit. Sure, whatever, fine. But doesn't that, undermine everything about the original trilogy? One of my favorite aspects of Star Wars and what I think is part of its essence is just this mythological quality that it has. And these legends being passed down through generations and tales of old. And a common aspect of myth storytelling is this idea of this ancient legend of this, special figure, or this chosen one, if you will, in this case, Anakin Skywalker, and how they're supposed to bring peace or bring prosperity or whatever their end result that they want, that this figure will bring it to them. In this case, bringing balance to the Force, right? That's what the Jedi always say. But in these classic stories, what ends up happening is this, chosen one brings them what they ended up expecting to get from them, but the way that it's done is in a way they don't expect, or in a way that they wouldn't have wanted. And that duality and exploration of it is something that I think is really interesting and has become almost a staple of writing. In fact, there's an old screenwriting adage that says, give the audience what they want, but not in the way they expect. Point being, it's a way for storytellers to have their stories be more engaging and challenging and complex, and hopefully as a result of that, have more value. And I'm not talking about the prequels, they obviously suck, but I'm just saying I like the story of Anakin turning into Darth Vader to ultimately still become the Chosen One. That's interesting, but this movie just undid all of that, right? I mean, basically now, definitely the prequels, but even in the original trilogy, everyone's an idiot. I mean, Yoda, you're dumb. Obi-Wan, you're dumb. Sorry, you're wrong, because Anakin wasn't the Chosen One, right? I mean, he didn't kill Darth Sidious, so what the fuck? What are you guys talking about? Actually, I mean, what does the sacrifice of Anakin Skywalker mean anymore? It meant nothing. He accomplished peace for 30 years till they rebooted Star Wars? I mean, great. Anyway, yeah, them bringing Palpatine is dumb, so that alone just kind of movie breaking, but let's move past it. They introduce nothing characters like Zori Bliss. Amazing Star Wars name. Yeah, she was nothing, irrelevant. Why was Kerry Russell under the mask? Actually, I bet Kerry Russell wasn't even under the mask. She probably just ADR'd all the lines, and that was a stunt double. Oh yeah, she's probably in the movie because Disney had a case of the not gays and wanted to make sure Poe was not gay. There was the other ex-Stormtrooper woman who was also a non-character. There's no way I'm pulling her name, but her, she was relevant too. And I thought they were going to reveal that she was Lando's daughter, but I think I heard that they showed that like in a comic or something, which is amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Star Wars. Dominic Monaghan shows up for some reason. Like, I think JJ just gave him $50. I don't know. He has like 2 lines. I don't get it. So this whole movie is comprised of like fetch quests. It's basically a video game, like, except the story is worse than the recent Star Wars video game that I played, which is funny. But it's basically they have to go to the thing to be able to get the map to find the next thing so they can get to that thing, so then be able to unlock this thing, which will be able to take them to this planet that's off the what. Who cares? Like, what is this? Who structured this movie like this? Oh yeah, it's J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio who wrote Batman v Superman and like Justice League. Like, how many bad movies can a guy make? Like, well, I'm about to send my scripts over there. I mean, shit. Oh yeah, I forgot about Rose, but that's okay because so did J.J. Abrams. I mean, seriously, didn't her and Finn, like, weren't they supposed to have a thing even though there was, like, less than zero chemistry, right? Like, did she just get, like, friend-zoned and sidelined all in one fell swoop in this movie? Zora Binch had more lines than Rose did. They did, like, the weird force healing thing. I wasn't too big into that. It also was, like, introduced so awkwardly. They fall into a sand pit, and then they get attacked by sandworms, and then Rey heals a sandworm. And they did all of that scene just to set up that she can force heal. Like, it just felt so contrived and pointless. Then there's the big one, well, I guess the other big one, which is the fact that Rey herself is a Palpatine, which is just so stupid. I feel like it should just be obvious why that's just such a bad choice. I mean, for one, like, when did this happen for him to, I mean, it had to have been post his face being all jacked up, right? So he had to have melty face. It's melty Palpatine that fucks. I feel like it's also just the obvious better message to send, like, that Rey be a nobody. And so it's like, oh, anybody can be a Jedi from anywhere or in any race or religion or whatever. The message is clear, it's obvious, and it's supposed to be inspiring, and it's maybe a little ham-fisted, but it's Star Wars. But then this movie swoops in and is like, nope, sorry, you gotta be bloodline. Oh, you're not a Skywalker? Nope. Are you a Coyote Mundi or what is that? I mean, that's so dumb. Honestly, I could go on and on about all the various different aspects that I don't like in this movie. Like, why did all the Star Destroyers all of a sudden have Death Star technology on each of them? Like, what the hell? Who even built those? I mean, Sidious couldn't have built it by himself. Was it the weird ghost people in the robes? Who was that? Or, like, why are they on these horses in the Resistance? And why does it look like Harry Potter? Like, there's a lot going on. A lot of it has problems. I don't know. If you're a Star Wars fan, you might like this one. I personally did not connect with it very much at all. And it's been said a billion times before, but it just needs to always be said that it's clear to everybody that there was no oversight or set plan over at Disney and Lucasfilm. I mean, they just thought they could hand 3 movies to different storytellers and filmmakers and say, hey, like, each of you have your own style and approach. Like, bring that to Star Wars. Great. This won't feel disjointed. Like, of course it does. But anyway, I did not enjoy The Rise of Skywalker for all the reasons I've mentioned and honestly more. And I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Well, that's going to do it for me screaming into the void that is the Star Wars discourse. But if you like movies and you like movie reviews, I'll be continuing to do that here on my channel, covering all sorts of film. I'm working on my best films of 2019 list as of right now, and I take a lot of pride in that and trying to expose all sorts of different films from all over the globe and hopefully show you some new things you haven't seen. But until then, hopefully you can leave a like or even subscribe. And until next time, please take care of yourself.